Hey, welcome back. It's JWalter here. According to a brand new report that was just published a couple of days ago, home prices in California have now decreased for the second month in a row. In fact, the median sold price in California dipped below $800,000 for the first time since March of this year. In addition, according to data provided by the California Association of Realtors, or CAR, home sales on a month-to-month basis have now decreased 5 out of the last 6 months. CAR Vice President and Chief Economist Jordan Levine stated the following: slower sales activity suggests that the market is returning to its typical seasonal pattern, and further market normalization can be expected in the upcoming months. While the market is showing signs of cooling off in recent months, 2021 continues to outpace last year's sales level and is expected to post a gain at year-end. Some may say that home sales are dropping, so the market is crashing. My advice to you is to not draw long-term conclusions based on short-term data. So for example, the median sold price in October decreased by 1.3% compared to September 2021, and that is what we would normally expect this time of the year. In fact, the price decrease from September was on par with a long-term average of a dip of 1.5% recorded between a September and an October in the past 42 years. In my opinion, the best way to describe our housing market today in California and also across the United States is that we're seeing a seasonal slowdown on steroids. So let me explain. The market still remains very competitive, but it's not as hot as it was this spring and also this summer. The median sales price to list price ratio was 101.5% in October, meaning houses on average are selling 1.5% above the seller's asking price. However, that was the lowest level in the past 8 months. In addition, 60% are selling above the seller's asking price, but that was the lowest level since February of this year. Houses in the state are selling very, very quickly still. So on average, it took 11 days to sell a California single-family home in October, and that's on par with the previous month as well as 1 year ago. However, this small uptick was the first in more than 2 years. However, when we look over the last 11 years at days on the market, which is a time frame when a house gets listed for sale to when the seller accepts an offer, it's quite clear how fast houses are selling right now. So houses more or less have been selling faster and faster ever since 2010, 2011. In 2011, it peaked at over 60 days to sell a house, and now it's only 11 days. Home buyers in California and also across the nation are really not getting much help in the form of new active listings because we're still at very low levels. So check this out. In October, housing inventory dipped to its lowest level in the last 4 months. The month supply is only 2 months, which is only slightly higher than this time last year. This is the time of year where housing inventory tends to flatten or decrease, and also the number of home buyers also tends to decrease as well. So for anyone looking to buy a house right now, it could be challenging to find a good option because there's very few options available, but we tend to have less competition for those houses that do get listed for sale because there's less home buyers. As you can see here on this graphic, housing inventory tends to flatten or dip starting in the summer months, and then it increases in the spring. But it's important to note that the number of active listings this entire year remains well below 2018 and 2019's levels. For any home buyers out there, we obviously want to see more housing inventory and more houses to get listed for sale so we have more options. And I personally have clients who've been looking for months to find the right property. Being a home buyer right now can be very, very frustrating. So I definitely feel for you if you're having a hard time right now. My best advice to you though is to be patient and to make sure you're working with a solid real estate agent. And by the way, if you want an agent referral in your neck of the woods, then go to homeandmoney.com/Jason to get connected to a great real estate agent in your neck of the woods. And that service is nationwide too. Okay, so going back to this report, another sign that the housing market in California still remains elevated is the fact that home sales in California are still outpacing new active listings. This means that houses that get listed are getting gobbled up by home buyers very, very quickly, which is one reason why housing inventory is so low right now. So for example, in October 2021, there were 24,442 home sales in the state, yet only 19,904 new listings. As you can see here on this chart, this has been the trend ever since July of 2020. Pre-COVID, it was entirely normal for new active listings to outpace home sales. However, I'm not going to paint a rosy picture of our housing market though, because there's definitely some challenges that lay ahead and also some challenges right now, frankly. In my opinion, housing affordability is still a main issue as home prices still remain very elevated. Also, pending home sales have been declining by double digits on a year-over-year basis ever since June. Perhaps the reason for this, though, is that it's hard to compare this year to last year as the market in 2020 was on steroids. In any case, if pendings and home sales continue to decrease as we approach the summer months next year, then that's something we should definitely pay attention to. I also noticed that the sale of luxury houses in California continues to decrease, and that's putting downward pressure on the median sold price in California. This spring, sales of houses over $2 million in California surged by over 300%, while sales of $1 million to $1.99 million houses increased by over 200% compared with 1 year ago. This is one reason why so many home price records were broken earlier this year. This has changed drastically though, because in October of 2021, the sale of $2 million plus properties only increased by 13%, and the sale of $1 million to $1.99 million houses rose by only 5%. Therefore, due to fewer luxury home sales in California, that's causing the median sold price to decrease as well. And by the way, I plan to make a separate video about how each county in California fared because of course there's some pretty big differences there, and I plan to make that video probably next week. But let me give you a glimpse into that video to show you how each of the 7 major regions in California fared for October 2021. Every region except for Inland Empire, the Central Valley, and the far north experienced a dip in the median sold price from September 2021. However, every single region experienced a rise of prices from 1 year ago. No big surprises there. But the Central Coast grew by the least with only a 1.8% increase. Inland Empire grew the most with an 18% gain. Home sales increased slightly in the Los Angeles Metro and the San Francisco Bay Area, but all other areas experienced a drop in sales on a month-to-month basis. In contrast, the number of home sales decreased in all 7 regions compared to 1 year ago. The far north dropped by the most by 23.4%, largely due to the wildfires in that region from this fall. So what are you seeing in your neck of the woods? Please comment below. Also, if you got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And also consider subscribing. Hope you have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.